The year is 1956 in Italy. You are a wealthy industrialist looking to buy your next high-performance sports car. Where do you go? Well, Ferrari is the obvious choice. These legendary prancing horses are to automotive excellence what Michelangelo's David is to marble statues. Enzo Ferrari, owner of the eponymous brand, is already something of a legend himself, known for his engineering genius, colorful language and undying passion for speed. Now, however, there is a young upstart with a serious chip on his shoulder who believes that he can build a better Ferrari. His name is Ferruccio Lamborghini. His cars will bear the logo of the Raging Bull, and his very first model will debut at the same Swiss auto show where Ferrari first revealed the 250 GT. The rich have no shortage of choices when it comes to automobiles, but they will soon get a big new option that proves once and for all that two Ferraris are not enough. Join us as we take a look back at the history of Lamborghini and see how it was born from a feud between two of Italy's most charismatic personalities. Before we get into the exciting stuff, let's start with some backstory. Ferruccio Lamborghini was born in Renato, Italy in 1916 when he was 2. His family moved to a farmhouse in the town of Cento where he grew up around tractors, vineyards and olive groves. He eventually took over the family farm, but by day, he tinkered in the garage, dismantling watches, bicycles and motorcycles to understand how they worked. By the time World War II rolled around, Ferruccio's tinkering days were over. He was now a full-fledged mechanic serving with the Italian Royal Air Force. Ferruccio's job was to keep vehicles running under nearly impossible conditions. And while that didn't seem particularly glamorous, these experiences honed his mechanical skills and would prove invaluable after the war. After being captured by Allied forces and spending 1943 and 44 as a POW in Greece, Ferruccio returned home to fight another battle, this time against the Germans. In 1945, he married a local girl named Cecilia, then went back to his farm outside Cento, but Ferruccio knew farming wasn't his calling. His experience during the war had shown him what demand was like for repair and maintenance work on damaged equipment. So he put his knowledge to good use, salvaging military vehicles left over from the war and transforming them into tractors. Ferruccio produced his first tractor in 1947, then officially registered his tractor manufacturing company, Lamborghini Tractors, in 1948. The timing couldn't have been better. Italian farmers were desperate for mechanization that would allow them to produce food for their recovering country, and before long Ferruccio was one of the richest men in Italy. Now that he could afford whatever car he wanted, Ferruccio began purchasing high-performance models. He had Maseratis, Jaguars and, of course, Ferraris. But for a man who loved fast cars, he had a surprisingly large complaint about them. He felt that they weren't as well made as they should be. To hear Ferruccio tell it, every part of a Ferrari felt like it was held together with wire and chewing gum. And if you were going to pay the exorbitant price for one, you'd expect better. It wasn't until he got a Ferrari 250 GT that his frustrations reached a boiling point. Ferruccio noticed that the clutch was pretty worn out, so he brought it to the factory for a replacement. Ferrari agreed that the clutch was bad, but said that the car was old and they wouldn't give him a new one. By this point, Ferruccio had become somewhat friendly with Enzo Ferrari, and in 1961, he decided to approach his old friend about the situation. Unfortunately, Enzo was in a very talkative mood, and he didn't want to hear about any problems with his cars. After listening for a minute, Enzo told Ferruccio, let the tractor drivers stick to tractors, and with that, the meeting was over. Ferruccio was shocked by Enzo's rudeness and he was determined to come back swinging. Instead of talking about his issues with Enzo, Ferruccio would soon be talking to him about business. Now that he had a personal insult to go along with his professional beef, Ferruccio was even more motivated to succeed. Ferruccio figured that if Ferrari didn't want him to have a new clutch, then he would simply buy a different car. But as soon as he started shopping, he realized that nothing on the market compared to the performance or prestige of a Ferrari. Ferruccio understood that the only way to satisfy his needs was to buy one of Enzo's creations and improve it. And so in 1963, Automobili Lamborghini was born in Sant'Agata Bolognese, Italy. Its first vehicle debuted at that same Swiss auto show where the Ferrari 250 GT had premiered 5 years earlier. With its independent rear suspension and top speed of 260 km per hour, it wasn't quite on par with the GT, but it had presence, and for Ferruccio that was only the beginning. Automobili Lamborghini quickly grew, expanding into other models and reaching a production volume of 2,400 units per year. Ferruccio enjoyed great success, but he was far from satisfied. If he was going to beat Ferrari, he needed to raise the bar considerably. Enter the Lamborghini Miura when it debuted in 1966. It was hailed as the first true supercar thanks to its 390 horsepower engine and innovative design. The Miura set Lamborghini up for the next decade of success with models like the Espada Ilaro and Euromar hitting the market. And then came the Lamborghini Countach, which changed automotive design forever. Its wedge shape, sharp angles and LP400 configuration pushed boundaries and turned heads. The Countach became an icon of the late 1970s and early 80s and remains one of the most famous supercars of all time. While Ferruccio Lamborghini never raced professionally, he loved driving fast. He purchased several Alfa Romeos to compete in hill climbs and rallies, but he soon found them wanting in terms of power, and so he began working on his own race car. When Lamborghini competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1966, Ferruccio drove one of 3 Lamborghini 400 GTS. It was the first time Lamborghini had ever entered a team. While none of the cars finished the race due to overheating issues, Ferruccio's average speed of 242.37 km per hour was still the fastest ever recorded for a production-based car. Ferruccio continued racing sporadically over the next few years, but his results paled in comparison to his growing business. And in 1974, he sold Lamborghini to the government of Iran. The sale netted him around $50 million, a lot of money at the time. He spent his remaining days overseeing his vineyard and tractor manufacturing company. Lamborghini did well under Iranian ownership, continuing to release high-performance models like the Countach and the Silhouette. However, the Iran-Contra affair tarnished the brand's reputation and led to sanctions that prohibited the sale of American parts in Iran. Sales slowed, and in 1987, Chrysler purchased Lamborghini for $165 million. Chrysler struggled to turn a profit with Lamborghini, so in 1994, they sold it to the Malaysian importer and entrepreneur Dato Sri Dr. Tony Fernandez. Since its founding, Lamborghini had always been closely tied to its hometown, so it seemed fitting that the town of Cento unveiled a statue of Ferruccio Lamborghini in 1996, 4 years after his death. Like many companies today, Lamborghini leverages its past successes to promote new releases. But unlike many companies today, Lamborghini has more than earned the right to draw upon its illustrious heritage. The rise of the modern Lamborghini began in 1998 when Volkswagen purchased the brand for $1.8 billion. After some time adjusting to the new leadership, Lamborghini began releasing some of the most recognizable supercars of the 21st century. The Gallardo and Aventador ushered in a new era of blistering speeds and radical designs that captivated enthusiasts and collectors alike. As we transition into the electric vehicle age, Lamborghini continues to innovate. Models like the Enurus blur the line between traditional gas-powered luxury and new energy sources, and the Revuelto, Lamborghini's first series production hybrid, shows that the future is bright for the Raging Bull. From humble beginnings on a tractor to becoming one of the most popular supercar brands in the world, Lamborghini's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. If you like stories like this one, please stay tuned for more. We'll see you next time.